Good day, all. You all know that Papa O Teng, and we have a reality wherein I am compelled by the court itself not to obey the supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law. Fellow South Africans, I want you to understand that every other person in this republic, including myself, have a right to have any dispute that can be resolved by the application of law, decided in a fair public hearing before a court, or where appropriate, another independent and impartial tribunal or forum. We have been taught that our daily deed as ordinary South Africans must produce an actual South African human reality in which humanity's belief in justice is strengthened. We know that whenever that we are in agreement, we will go to court, and in court we will be listened to before a decision is taken. On the 12th of November, on Friday, I was in court, and while I was asking the registrar of the Honorable Ali J to direct me as to which judge will hear the matter, what I have received was a confrontational approach in which the security was called of the court, and subsequent to that the police were called. And I have told the security and the police, and I said, good people, I am only here to uphold the law. The law at section 34 imposes an obligation that everyone has a right to be heard by a court. And you, when I ask to exercise that particular right, you come and take me out and prevent me from exercising that right. Do you not see that the actual person that you are supposed to be taking out of court is the person who has called you to deny me my inalienable rights? So, good people, I want you to understand that I am not intimidated by criminal activity, corruption, and misconduct. I am not intimidated by any person, wherever or whatever that person is, as long as you don't follow the Constitution and the law. To me, you are a person that must be taught to follow the Constitution and the law. And there are various ways to do that, but it all starts with a hearing. A hearing. So I want you to understand that in all events, in omnibus, what I have been deprived every single day by the court itself is a hearing. Is a hearing. It doesn't matter what English word they say. Whatever that is achieved is a hearing of Mangolele. He will not get that hearing, not here in the Western Cape High Court. He must go look for another Western Cape High Court somewhere in his dreams. Yeah, Mangolele will not get a hearing. So now, people, I want you to understand the reality of this matter to be such that people who are working in court that deny people an opportunity to be heard are a decline in critical capabilities that must be arrested through immediate directed interventions as obligated by milestone 1 of the South African Defence Review 2014. Melindiwe Sisulu established a committee in 2011 that took 3 years to come up with 4 key milestones in terms of the South African Defence Review to take our country and its people to 2034 and enhance our inescapable continental leadership role. South Africa, we are a nation that is responsible for nourishing the African tree. We are at the bottom of this African tree called African continent. Remember your covenant with God when God said, take care of the garden. Take care of the garden. Good people, I am taking care of the garden in a sense that I have petitioned the parties on a matter that must be heard tomorrow, as you can see here. We are at page 239 already. That means that there's page 1 to page 238. Page 1 to page 238 is not heard by the court. Each and every single time they refuse to hear it. No, we are not going to hear it. No, when Mangolele, you are stuck in 2018 14 September when a judge lied about you and said he has followed the statutory terms of section 21B of the Vexatious Proceedings Act to grant you an opportunity of being heard. Whereas the reality is that I was never heard or granted an opportunity of being heard as obligated by this particular piece of legislation, which provides for the imposition of restrictions on the institution of vexatious legal proceedings. And it provides that if on an application made by any person against whom legal proceedings have been instituted by any other person, or who has reason to believe that the institution of legal proceedings against him is contemplated by any other person, the court is satisfied that the said person has persistently and without any reasonable ground instituted legal proceedings in any court. And I want you to read this particular term in the way it is. When they say without any reasonable ground, that means I as a person, I went persistently to court without any reasonable ground. It means my children are not in the reasonable ground. It means my job is not a reasonable ground. My contract with the Defense Force is not a reasonable ground. Anything that is happening in the Republic is not a reasonable ground. The Defense Force is not even a reasonable ground. Let's go back to this. And instituted legal proceedings in any court or in any inferior court, whether against the same person or against different persons. The court may, it's a comma, it may do it after hearing that person or giving him an opportunity of being heard, order that no legal proceedings shall be instituted by him against any person in any court or in any inferior court without the leave of the court. Now, this leave of the court is what I go every day to sort after somebody decided to say I have persistently and without any reasonable ground came to court and instituted legal proceedings. I must not institute legal proceedings. People must just do whatever that they want to do with Mangolele. Well, that one, he cannot, because he has no reasonable ground. The Defense Force is not a reasonable ground. We as the soldiers are not a reasonable ground. We as the people of the Republic of South Africa are not a reasonable ground. We are not. The Constitution is not a reasonable ground. Nothing that this person says is reasonable. That is what they are saying. But in any event, it's fine. Let's come back to statute. This leave is what I sought. And to get to court It does not mean, say, go ask permission from Judge Hlophe to come to court. No. It does not say go ask permission from any other person to come to court. No. You come to court, and then in court you ask for leave based on the reasonable grounds that are in existence. There exists a ground, and in any event, because I am mandated not to obey a manifestly illegal order, and because I was not heard, or I was not heard, or given an opportunity of being heard, whatever order that was made in my absence does not conform to the statutory terms of Section 21B. So every time I'm being chased away from court, they want me to believe that I was heard or given an opportunity of being heard. And I want you to understand that that is not the truth. The truth is, in 14 September, I was with the Honorable Dwaba J in his office in Pretoria, not in the Western Cape. Good people, I want you to understand the reality that is at play here. The reality that is at play is that offenses and penalties of torture are such that any person who commits torture, attempts to commit torture, or incites, instigates, commands, or procures any person to commit torture is guilty of an offense of torture and is on conviction liable to imprisonment, not fine, imprisonment, including imprisonment for life. You understand? And it says, despite any other law to the contrary, including customary international law, the fact that an accused person is or was a head of state or government, a member of a government or parliament, an elected representative or a government official, or was under a legal obligation to obey a manifestly unlawful order of a government or superior, is neither a defense to a charge of committing an offense referred to in this section, nor a ground for any possible reduction of sentence once that person has been convicted of such an offense. And most importantly, no one shall be punished for disobeying an order to commit torture. Do you understand? So when you understand this reality, you would understand that I am sending people to jail, and I am being prevented as the defense force to uphold the Constitution and its supremacy. And then after that, you will understand that tomorrow, when I'm denied to be heard, it will be an issue that judges simply refuse to follow the Constitution and the law. It is like that. There is no any other way. That is why tomorrow I need to be in court, and then I need to allow the events of tomorrow to play, and then see if we are paying judges to refuse to uphold the law or not. Other than that, may God bless you, and then teach everyone that you know, including those that you do not love, to say to God, let us live and enjoy freedom in the universe, our home. Papa O Teng. Peace.